I think we are actually live now. Let's see. It does appear we are live. All right, that's up. All right, there we're good. Muted that. I think we might actually begin now. Share a fresh link to Facebook. Okay. All right, we should be ready now. Hit play. Are we good? Just want to make sure everything's still running and the quality looks good before I start painting. All right, it looks good to me. We're gonna rock. All right, let's pour our paints back down and in. Move like this. Some water, go ahead and move all this around. Get our nice blue gray. And then I'm gonna start with the bottom line down here. It's thin. All the way across the bottom here. Okay. Yeah, I do think we're successfully running right now, though. All right. See a little tiny line at the top of that color, but we're gonna work on the stuff over here. So let me say tiny line on this. It's dark, right? Yeah, dark on the outside right here. So it looks like this. And similarly speaking, another one that follows the same path line. So, and then goes down all the way to this guy. And it goes right here to this line right here. And then across this way. Up. This. Bigger brush here. So there's a really dark line at the top of this one that I gotta get. So I gotta get the old. Ah man, where is it? Oh, someone stuffed the window in our furry. There it is. Glad I found that quickly. It's an expensive brush. Alright. So. I still see that okay. Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm looking at doing that. So I'm gonna make a very dark color blue here. Like I said, there's a line straight across the top. There's also like a little thing right here that we're gonna have to add, but I'm gonna add that in gouache. I'm gonna try and leave a spot for it. So it's like right here. So I'm gonna work there back. Get a tip on this. There we go. So something like right there, probably. Move forward past that. I think I'm gonna try and painting these doors. I just want to make sure I was looking at the right color. Okay, we'll get the color first, and then we'll work on the doors. It's a green blue. So I'm gonna start in this palette because I already got some blue in here. I'm just gonna add some green straight up. We can go back later and add some cool highlights for the whatchamacallits, but I think this is a good place to start. And so we're gonna do it. Do it, lady. Do it. Do it, lady.
There's a little bar at the bottom that's white, but we can add that back in with gouache. I'm not really stressed about that.
I do feel like they're a little bluer than that, but we'll start with this and we'll add the blue later. It's a good idea.
A little bit in there, we'll add back with gouache later.
This paper has such great texture. So easy to work with. Dark area probably over here. There's a couple of spots in this blue that end up being a little darker. I'm gonna try and entertain him real quick. for example, there's a line right here. And this. It kind of just has like a darker spot right there. Obviously, right underneath here, going to be a little darker. And this kind of carries on up into here. A little bit of darkness up in this top area we could probably work on. Whoops. That wasn't intended. Sorry about that. No harm, no foul. Problem solved. Alright, back to the little guy. Cleaned up with some black. Alright, so we do need to lightly try to employ this guy. Huge, like this. There's gonna be one right here in the corner of this thing. Can't get him yet because he's wet, and that's okay. Alright, let's try and get this guy right underneath here. That will dry a lot later than it looks right now, trust me. Trust the process a little bit here for me. There's another green. Tube up here in the corner. Bum bum ba-da-dum ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum dum 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 da-da-da-da-da-dum dum. Alright, that'll look better after it soaks in. I do think these deserve just a little bit of blue. A little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Yeah, it's a better color. Might need a little more after that dries, we'll see.
Oh, I got a nose itch, but wet paint. Let's focus here for a minute. One second. Blow my nose. I'll be right back. It's gotta dry anyway. Oh. Where's my brush? Back. All right, let's see here. All right, that looks good. Very cool. Very cool.
Alright, we're gonna move into these browns a little bit. Got a photo here. Hold on, I want to see something. That's probably my best photo there. Okay, it is green, so we can get some green on that door too before I let that green completely dry out. Just up here. And it looks like a bar at the top. And bar straight down. There's a white bar at the bottom. We gotta respect. Oh, I gotta wish Mike a happy birthday today. It's Friday. Okay, that looks pretty good. That'll dry it a little less dark than what it is. And we'll put another quick coat on these. Like they're not dark enough. At least not in the areas they need to be dark. Clouds are my favorite part of this so far, if I'm being honest. This green over here. Kind of want this part to be really dark. So I'm going to use some paint here. This pretty rich. Some green brown, yeah, like that. And then all these places up here, we're gonna do we're not gonna go crazy with the saturation. We want these to kind of be pop on their own. You can do some little dots, some spots. Be careful, I'm not smudging that up. And here. Definitely a trust the process moment, man. It looks so rough going in. It's like too dark, oversaturated. It just feels like doing too much. But I bet you this dries out. We're pretty happy with that. Alright. Ditch this brush. I'm gonna get a smaller brush. A little bit more of the same thing. Alright. That will help that a lot. That brush soak for a minute and wash this one out too. See a smudge on my roof that got a little cauliflowering that I'm gonna try and salvage. See, one thing I do really love about Schminke is that you can wash this stuff out a lot. Much more room of forgiveness than most watercolors. Of course, then you have to be careful because we gotta brush this out in such a way that it doesn't cauliflower again. So it's not exactly soft. It's workable. I don't know that I'll ever quite fix that bit right there unless I add more color. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, that was a lot. It's a lot more than I wanted. We can salvage it. Do not panic. It seems much worse than it is, Stress. Like it never even happened. Water, let's put that out. And there you go. Let me get some yellow, some very, very bright yellow here. To get it to a bright yellow, one second. just in some of the top places, I'm going to add some splashes of yellow. These will soak in really well, but I'll add some pops. Make the tree look a lot more lively. It looks, when I first lay these down, it's going to look crazy vivid. But it'll soak in, spread out, and kind of do its thing, and it'll look really good. Cool. That's really nice. Same thing. Just a little mist to bring it to life. I really like how that tree's looking. It's interesting. It's a unique strategy, but it looks really cool. I gotta give that just a minute to dry. So give me a second. I'll slip it in. I'll be right back. I'm not going far. But I think really like the color in that tree right now. It's looking really good. We have to do more trees back here, and I might focus on that a little bit. Although they are a darker green, they're not gonna come out and pop quite as hard as the ones up front. So give me a minute. I'll be right back, guys. I won't be. This again? Yeah. 1 second. I'll be right back. and back. Instead of that kind of thing. I need to delete something in this post because it probably looks like I'm drunk. Trying to get a share on this. Somehow post the picture. And me saying C. I'm not Spanish. Not very representative of me. Nope. Excuse me. Alright, back to it. Trees are looking really good. Pretty happy with that. There's some hard and some soft edges hanging out, man. I like that. Alright, so I think we can go a little deeper on this. Not a lot deeper. Let's work on that. Blue. Mix that in here. There's some hard and some soft edges hanging out like that. Alright, so I think we can go a little deeper on this. Not a lot deeper. We're just going to overall add one big layer to this whole area. And one more for up here. Beautiful. And make that a little darker. There's a really dark line right here. I'm gonna try and do this with this. Risky though. We're gonna do it, even though it's risky. Like a dark line in that. We're gonna do it, even though it's risky. Dark line in that. OneDrive. Why is my phone blowing up already? All of a sudden. He must have popped in over there. Must have been that person I saw. One sec, guys. Actually got a message from the guy this is for. There must have been that person I saw. That can be close. That's me talking. If you're still watching, appreciate you, my friend. We're getting there. We're getting there. Slow but steady.
Can add a pre-layer of some color here. There's nothing wrong with that. When I do the lines for this area here that like etch out the wood, this is gonna be really tough.
It's gonna have to be really dry, and the paint's gonna have to be really thick to make it work.
Not impossible, but that's gonna be a challenge for sure.
All right. Cool. Very, very cool.
A little bit of blue darks in here, that'll add some texture.
It'll take a lot of drying, so
They'll be nice when they end up in there. All right, let's see. Alright, probably the perfect time to soften that last edge up there. Just a little bit of that out. Some green in my brush. Splashing water too, I gotta be careful. I'm trying to use a mix of this and this for my wood color. I think it's my best bet to get the color I'm looking for. But we have to be gentle with it. Good color, but don't judge me for this. We're gonna pull a lot of it off. That'll be better. We can work off of that. Tricks of the trade here. Doing okay on time right now. Stand back for a second. Needs more red, man. It's just not red enough. That's a better color. Trust the process here. I don't know how much more I want to do right now, only because I'm gonna get trapped in the center. I think I'm gonna do over here, and I'm gonna stop there, because this area is a different color. I might do the fronts of those garages, but if I do this area, and then I stop there, I'll be at a good place to start next time. But if we go a lot further than that, it could get dicey if, I gotta think I gotta go do it at 6:30. So, it takes about half an hour to get to it. So I don't box myself in too hard. A little more red in there. A little more red in there. And some brown. Alright, let's try this here. Most of this is going to be red too, so you can actually butt right up to this thing. That. This is a gnarly sounding beat. I'm like a computer. There was a hair on the paper, and I was trying to avoid the hair because I thought it was a line that I drew. And I'm like, oh, that's got to be there for a reason, right? Can't draw over that. Well, that's how we bleed out some of that color that was a little too dramatic. Look at that. No stress. So let's pick that though. That right there, yep. Bars here real quick. Bit of a terrifying sound. I did like that song. That song was really cool. All right, dude. What's up here? Ah! Toads. Alright, let's take a peek back for a second. Make sure we're happy. I don't have to do anything right now. No, we're making some good progress. This has got to be a lot deeper, a lot browner, but I like the red in the interim. That'll be a nice light backing for the places that aren't as crazy. But I will have to wait till it's completely dry. And I will have to do dark swatches across all of these to get those line impressions. And it's a watercolor, so it didn't have to be perfect, but I think we're going to do pretty well with it. And then the tree's almost there. We got to put a tree up in here. And like I said, we're just going to doppel that in with some green. That should be no problem because we left the sky so bright. We got to do the trees back here. I think once that tree and that tree are in there, this will feel focal. I'm really intimidated by this because it's got to be really dark. And I want to be able to bring the flowers to life. But we're going to do the flowers in gouache. So we got a plan. We got a plan. We're strategized. We're ready. This is definitely going to take at least 2 more days. I was really trying to get this done by this weekend for a lot of reasons. But I'm not going to rush the process. It's going really well. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. And there's no sense in rushing something that is working. So we are... just gonna hang out on this one and do it the right way so it turns out incredibly good. I'd like to use this not only for a good piece for bar for myself, but it's a good portfolio piece to show what I'm capable of and what my skills have harnessed so far. I mean, there's some crooked lines and stuff, but I think overall, like when you stand back like a couple feet away, like it looks really good. And, like I can't right now because of the way it's angled, but like I can tell that like there's a really good remnants of what's going on. So I'm pretty happy with that, guys. If you've been here the whole time, I appreciate you. It's been cool to hang out. If you haven't and you're just stopping in later, thanks for stopping in whenever you did. I appreciate your support. Could not quite do all of this without all the people who support me every day as an artist. So, like I said, appreciate that very much. I am going to call it there because I've got some other creative endeavors that I have to attend to today. And I will probably do a stream with this tomorrow evening. Sunday evening I'm not gonna be able to do it. So tomorrow evening we'll be here at least for an hour or two. Maybe Sunday if I figure out some time, we'll pull it off. But for that moment right now, we're gonna call it right there. Again, appreciate you guys. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.